I had a great guest up here in Albany today from my district, Professor Irv Miller. He's a PhD from Johns Hopkins, worked for 30 years at IBM in Dutchess County, and since he's retired, he's become sort of a math education guru. He has the Math Museum in the town of LaGrange on Route 55, which is a volunteer operation. He will help young kids who are struggling in math and get them up to speed. He can take the high achievers and push them to new limits, and he's doing great work. And because he's been working on these issues for so long, he has some great insights into math education. So we met with several members today of the Education Committee here in the Assembly to talk about things we can do to improve math education here in our local districts and in New York State. And we got so many ideas that we're going to keep pushing forward. But it is a competitive world out there, and our kids, and my kids are small, are going to face an even more competitive world. So math, science, and technology is really where it's at. And the theme of Professor Miller's way of educating a math is teach kids how to think. Don't just give them the rote memory, you need that for building blocks, but teach them how to think and figure things out. And it's simple, but it's also revolutionary at the same time. And when you look at Common Core, which is sort of teaching almost 100% rote and preparing for the test, and someone else comes along with a great background like Professor Miller and says, you know what, you really need to teach kids how to think. I've been doing it as a volunteer, but a full-time volunteer in schools and in the Math Museum, and we know from that experience what works, what doesn't work, and we're going to try to implement his experiences and his expertise into the curriculum and kind of get his way of thinking into the classroom here in New York State.